everyone, it's Neve here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be doing a ScrapFX project which is a 12 by 12 layout called Fun for School. So I'm starting off with this basic grey paper that I've had in my stash for a long time, and I think this is a KI cutout paper. Again, it must be at least 15 years old, maybe 10, probably 15, from a long time ago, and I really liked it because it sort of fitted in with this back to school theme that I had going for this page. So to just bring a little bit of colour, I suppose, not colour but brightness back into the page again, I'm just going around the solid stars on the page and with a white paint pen, drawing them back in again just to get a little line work onto the page. While I really liked the busyness of the colour in the background and the black over the top, I just wanted something to sort of tie it all together, and I've just noticed a star that I completely missed. I'm also using this frame as a bit of a corner piece, and the great thing about using chipboard is you can adapt it to whatever way you want. So if you just wanted random letters, you could cut them out into little strips, or you can cut them into corners like I have, or you could use it as a frame. The reason I cut it apart was I didn't have photos that would fit into that frame, and I thought, why not use it as a corner on the page? So I'm using the Ranger Mixed Media powder, which I think's in magenta or pink. Sure, it's got a fancy name, but to do my titles. And the only reason I'm using this, because pink is not my favorite color, is because it's my kids' favorite colors. They just love it. So a lot of the layouts I do, I tend to use this on it until they get sick of it, because all the layouts I actually do, I do for them. As soon as I'd finished this layout, I went and showed the girls next morning, because I did it at night, and it's now stuck up in one of their bedrooms, and they're actually fighting over it to see whose bedroom it could be in. So now it's on alone, one day in one room and one day in the other room, which is quite amusing. So I'm going in again and pressing in my chipboard. As you've seen probably on this channel before, I'm using my acrylic block to press it in. The reason for that, particularly with the chipboard, is while it's quite robust, the chipboard that I'm using, if you press down on your fingers, you're likely to bend it or crack it. So by using something solid and big over the whole top, you're less likely to bend or crack it. And it also means your fingers get less inky, which is, it doesn't bother me too much, but when you're using embossing powder, it does help. I also embossed the two random little words there, happy and fun, because I thought I'd put those in the page. So as I put everything down, I really liked it, but I suddenly realized that everything was kind of getting a little bit lost on the page. So I sort of had to work out how to unloose it again. With the happy and fun, it also, because Jill's very clever, comes with the little piece, the little word as well. Usually I keep those separate, but I actually decided to put it back in here again and put it in black to help highlight that word on the page, which I think really worked. You can see that pops out straight away. So I'm just using a thin black paint pen to do that. Then I'm looking at the fun with school, and I decided that the fun had quite an open area in the background, so I thought I would put some of this marbled paper behind it. And the reason I used this was, this is actually a technique that I teach my kids how to do at school, and I thought it was cool to sort of incorporate onto the school page. So it's shaving foam marbling. If you've never done it before, it's lots and lots of fun. Basically, you just I used to use cat litter, obviously a clean one that I bought for the purpose, but a cat litter tray. Fill it up with really cheap shaving foam, sort of level it out a little bit, then drop in food colouring and drag a skewer through it and marble it, and then press paper onto the top, pull it out, and then scrape a ruler across it, and you get this really cool marbled background. The kids absolutely have a ball doing it, and we made really beautiful bookends, bookend papers for some books we made for our class, so they really enjoyed the process, and I've liked how it sort of tied in with the colours on the page, so it all worked out in the end. So here's the long and tedious bit of sort of working out where you're going to put the photos and how you're going to do it. I'd framed these photos just in a little bit of black, again to pop them out of the background. I tend to like to frame my photos in some way, and I usually frame them in black. just because it's quick and easy. I don't need to make too many decisions, and it will go with most everything. So once I just sort of decided where I wanted to put them, I got my double-sided tape and stuck them down, worked out how I wanted them overlapped, and so you could see all the different pieces. So because they were quite open pictures and I've got gaps around them, it was easy to work out where I wanted to put the little fun and happy in as well, so it worked out. I actually thought this through more so than I usually do when I'm doing layouts, and left my top photo to last to stick down so I could hide the edges too. Usually I stick them down and then have to peel it back up again, so it is a good idea if you can plan ahead of where you're going to be placing everything. To glue down the frames at the bottom, I'm just using a little bit of PVA glue. It dries clear, so you don't need to worry about it if it spills out, but because it's in that nice little nozzle tip, it fits in. The letters in the background, I didn't really mind that they blended in so much with the black, but the Fun at School, the title of the page, was really bugging me because I wanted that to stand out, obviously, because it was a title. So I decided to put some white paper underneath it, but it was just a bit too stark on the page. So I decided I would go back to the marbled paper in the end. But while I was doing this, I decided, I need to have a place for my journaling. So I had this sort of vintage lined paper that was pad paper from a school, so I trimmed it down to stick on my page, but it was quite see-through, so I decided to use that white card that I'd just torn up and stick it down on that, so it gave it a little bit of bulk underneath, but I still had those cool lines to write on and make it look like it was a school page. Please excuse my block/ruler, but I can't actually find my ruler that has the metal edge on it, so I'm sort of trying to work out where it's gone. Once I put the title down on this, I realized that I really needed to have something behind the at school so you could actually see it. So I went back to the marbled paper and decided to use that instead. So I'm just gluing it back down again. And unlike the other piece where I sort of cut around the individual letters, I'm just sort of rounding this off. Because the letters are a little bit finer, I didn't mind that it was, not every individual letter. It also helps it stand out from the background a little bit more. And even though it's hard from this height to sort of see it, when you see the close-up you can see it, it does stand out. So I'm just using some double-sided tape to stick down my journaling spot, and then some glue to stick down my title over the top. And once I finish that, then I get to journal. So basically my journaling's all about every Tuesday we go to Kinder Gym with my two girls, which they absolutely adore. They get to do lots of playing with blocks and building things and trying to do arts and crafts and bubble play and sand play and all sorts. So it's always fun. And the great thing about it is the woman who takes it is also a very talented musician, so she sits there with her ukulele and makes up songs, and they have a bit of a sing-along and dance-along when they're having snack time at the end, which they both adore because they're both musos. So it's lots and lots of fun. So it was a really happy page to do and to document. And as I said before, the great thing is the girls love seeing their pictures documented as well. So here's a close-up of the final page. You can see how that title now stands out from the background much more clearly than it did originally, and how those little pops of pink on the page just add to the fun and happy nature of it. In the on the corners you can sort of see the letters as well, sort of blend in, but they just frame the whole piece together. So thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in the products or finding out more about where they've come from, click on the description box below. There is a link to the wholesale site and a retail site where you can buy the products, as well as a link to the blog that has step-by-steps in the products that I've used in this video. Until next time, bye for now.